federal government has declared a shortage on the Colorado River, which provides water to nearly 40 million people.
No time this week, the federal government announced more emergency water cuts for states, as well as our neighbor to the south along the Colorado River.
The Colorado River is vanishing. What will this mean for America? This single waterway stretches across the most arid parts of America and supports nearly 40 million lives. But now it's shrinking. Lakes are drying, states are fighting, and officials are scrambling to stop a collapse that may have already begun. So what just happened to the Colorado River? It's simple. The river can no longer give what it once promised. It runs nearly 1,500 miles across 7 states. Its water powers homes, farms, and industries from Colorado to California. For more than a century, cities like Phoenix, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas have depended on it. But the water is running out. The 2 biggest reservoirs in the country, Lake Mead and Lake Powell, are now near record lows. Entire stretches of the river are drying up, and the system that was supposed to protect it is starting to crack. That system began in 1922. Over 100 years ago, the 7 river states signed the Colorado River Compact. It was designed to divide water fairly and avoid conflict. Each state received a share based on how much water they thought the river could deliver. But the deal was built on false hope. When the compact was signed, the river was unusually full. Negotiators believed it could produce over 17 million acre-feet of water per year, but that was wrong. Scientists warned that the long-term average was much lower. They were ignored, and that mistake is now catching up. For decades, the extra water wasn't a problem. Most states weren't using their full share. California developed early and claimed the largest slice. The others lagged behind. There was room to grow, but not anymore. Today, demand has surged. The river's actual flow has dropped to 12 or 13 million acre-feet per year, but the system still promises to give out more than 15. And now, the fight over what's left has begun. In 2023, 6 of the 7 river states came together. Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, and Wyoming agreed to a joint plan. They would cut back water use by millions of acre-feet over 3 years. These cuts would affect everyone, families, farms, and factories. But the 6 states saw the writing on the wall. If they didn't act, the whole system could collapse. California said no. Instead of joining the group, California submitted its own proposal. It offered smaller cuts, voluntary ones, and only if things got much worse. Now, if you're wondering why this happened, it's because California holds senior water rights. By law, it gets first priority. Even if the river is drying, it can still claim its full share before others get anything at all. That legal advantage has become a major source of tension. This is no longer just about water. It's about fairness. And the system that once held the region together is now pulling it apart. Nowhere is that collapse more visible than in Arizona. Let's take a look at what's happening there. When the first official shortage was declared on the Colorado River, Arizona took the hit. Not because it uses the most water, but because of a deal made decades ago. In the 1960s, Arizona accepted junior status on the river in exchange for federal support to build its water infrastructure. That compromise meant that when shortages arrived, Arizona would be the first to lose. And that time has come. The Central Arizona Project, an enormous canal that carries water from the river across the desert, is drying up. Farms in Pinal County have already lost their main supply. Some are drilling deeper wells. Others are walking away from their land. The ground itself is cracking open. Deep fissures have appeared near roads and neighborhoods. The desert is breaking apart. Even cities are starting to feel the squeeze. New housing developments have been paused. Water managers are searching for alternatives, recycled water, desalination, long-distance pipelines. But these aren't quick fixes. They cost time and billions of dollars. And what about Nevada? It gets the smallest slice of the river, just 300,000 acre-feet per year. But in Las Vegas, every drop is stretched to the limit. The city sits in the middle of the Mojave Desert with just one shrinking reservoir, Lake Mead. And somehow the city keeps growing. Casinos, hotels, suburbs, and shopping centers rise out of the sand. Over the past 20 years, Las Vegas has transformed. Decorative lawns have been ripped out. Resorts switched to recycled water. Homes were paid to remove grass. Almost all indoor water is captured, cleaned, and returned to the lake. Even fountains on the Strip follow conservation rules. And it worked. Despite population growth, southern Nevada cut its water use by nearly a third and became one of the most water-efficient regions in the country. But now, efficiency may not be enough. As Lake Mead falls closer to the dead pool, even Nevada's deep intake tunnels are being tested. The state has no backup, no extra supply waiting in the wings. If deliveries drop further, the best-run water system in the desert could still come up short. And yet, while Nevada conserves, California delays. While Arizona suffers, California digs in. While 6 states unite, one state stands apart. What happens next? Texas doesn't even take water from the Colorado River, but it's still paying the price. Officially, Texas is not part of the Colorado River Compact. The river flows west of its borders and feeds 7 other states. But the crisis doesn't stop at state lines. It never does. As water shortages hammer California, Arizona, and Nevada, people are moving. Businesses are relocating. Pressure is building in places that were never part of the original deal. Texas is feeling the ripple effect. Over the last decade, hundreds of thousands of people have left the Southwest, and many have come to Texas. They brought their water needs with them. Cities like Austin, San Antonio, and Dallas are growing fast. But the water supply hasn't kept up. At the same time, Texas is battling its own droughts. The Rio Grande, the state's southern lifeline, is shrinking. Reservoirs in the valley are below critical levels. Some farmers haven't received a full irrigation delivery in years. When other states lose their river supply, they look elsewhere. Some propose pipelines from East Texas. Others talk about buying groundwater rights from private landowners. In times of scarcity, every drop becomes a target. Texas is now investing billions in new infrastructure, pipelines, desalination plants, and emergency aquifers. But the message is clear. What happens to the Colorado River doesn't stay inside its basin. And even states outside the original deal are getting caught in the crossfire. And Texas is not the only one. The river also touches 4 upper basin states: Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, and Wyoming. These states face their own challenges. In Colorado, the river begins its journey. Snowmelt from the Rocky Mountains feeds the entire system. But warmer winters are changing everything, and Colorado is stuck between nature and law. Utah is booming. The Salt Lake region is expanding fast, but water supplies are thin. The state wants to build long pipelines to move water from remote areas. Critics say the plan is dangerous and unsustainable. Meanwhile, the Great Salt Lake has reached record lows. Toxic dust storms now threaten entire communities. New Mexico depends on the San Juan River, but reservoirs are running dry, agriculture is fading, and disputes with Texas are getting worse. Albuquerque is now looking for water far from home. Even Wyoming is under pressure. Ranchers depend on early-season meltwater, but now they must balance survival with legal obligations to send water downstream. And then there are the Native American tribes. They hold legal rights to nearly a quarter of the river's flow, but many still lack basic water infrastructure. The river affects them all, but only a few states control the decisions. And the deeper the crisis gets, the more the ignored voices are left behind. Because this river didn't just change cities, it built the entire modern West. Before dams and canals, the region was mostly dry, uninhabitable land. Native tribes lived near springs and scattered rivers, but large-scale settlement was nearly impossible. That changed in the early 20th century. Hoover Dam was built in 1936. The All-American Canal followed. For the first time, cities like Phoenix, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas could grow beyond their limits. Farms exploded. The Imperial Valley became one of the most productive zones in America. Arizona built a 300-mile canal to carry water across the desert. Suddenly, the Southwest became a food powerhouse. Crops like lettuce, citrus, and cotton could grow year-round. Dams did more than just control floods. They created electricity. They powered industries. They fueled new cities. The Colorado River wasn't just a water source, it was the engine of the West. But now that engine is breaking down. Reservoirs are nearing dead pool. If they drop too low, dams can no longer generate power. Some farms have already lost access. Cities are cutting back. Aquifers are being drained. The West, built on abundance, is now drowning in scarcity. And still, the developments keep coming. New homes rise in dry suburbs. Farms continue business as usual. Many leaders stay quiet. But the signs are getting louder. For years, the government watched this crisis grow and did nothing. During the Obama years, multiple reports warned of long-term overuse, but federal agencies leaned on diplomacy. California kept getting water. The others made quiet cuts. Under President Trump's first term, discussions continued, but no hard rules followed. States were urged to figure it out themselves. By 2021, emergency cuts were finally announced. Arizona and Nevada lost water. California did not. In 2023, talks broke down again. California refused deeper reductions, and Washington backed off. Now, in 2025, Lake Mead is close to dead pool. Hoover Dam is losing power. Cities are drilling deeper. Farms are drying up. Still, no federal law has changed. Why? Because water is political dynamite. California grows a third of the nation's vegetables. It holds massive power in Congress. Any move to cut its water risks lawsuits, elections, and national supply chains. So year after year, leaders wait, and the river keeps shrinking. But history has seen this before. In 1997, China's Yellow River, once mighty and constant, failed to reach the sea for over 200 days because too many people took too much water. The Soviet Union faced worse. Two rivers, the Amu Darya and Sir Darya, were diverted to grow cotton in the desert. The Aral Sea vanished. Once the world's fourth largest lake, it became a toxic wasteland. Port cities were stranded, dust storms poisoned entire regions, and Russia never fixed it. The United States is making the same mistake now. If the 7 states wait until the river is gone, there will be nothing left to negotiate.
If you liked this video, you will like this one as well, so please support us and click this video.